attrition has left both sides fatigued.
I'm not done yet! Kiss your ass goodbye!
Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullets for Nerds New Bulletin. Host Leroy, aka, and I fucked it up. I told you I was gonna fuck it up.
Good job.
I did it, but I almost had it. You know what? I got caught up into it. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing next? You know what? You're right. Hi. Now back
there
to
you go.
Eli because it's back. It's October, so there you go.
Hello, everybody. Greetings and salutations. This is Eli, aka Jar Jar Bubblicious.
There we go. And I guess I'll do a thing because this is Leroy, aka the only Christopher we acknowledge as Wallace. So boom, there you go.
That's right. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Tomorrow.
Thank you. You bet. I hope you better not say it. You better not say it.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Exactly.
Be sure everybody leave a piece of fry bread out in your stockings for Johnny Depp.
Because he is 1 in 32nd native. So
just on his tip.
On his grandma cousin's side.
Yeah,
so
got just the tip. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So nobody would, because I just want to say one thing about Christopher Columbus. That fuck him for one thing. National fuck Christopher Columbus Day. Because here's what I'm pissed off about. Not only about the raping and the pillaging and the fact that he claimed that he discovered a country that he never stepped foot on. Look it up. He didn't even step foot in America. Main thing, we don't even get paid for the day. Like, how do they pay? It's not a thing. So
it's not even a bank holiday. Yeah.
Not even a bank holiday. So fuck that dude, man. You know what? So here's what I want to do. Since Christopher Columbus gave such a bad name for Italians and it's National Indigenous Day, I want to kill two birds with one stone, Eli. I want to celebrate Sylvester Stallone, who's an Italian, playing a Native American John J. Rambo.
There you go.
There you go. So there you go. We have been redeemed. So, but don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I want to thank all our listeners, especially the AI. We love the AI.
Yes. Shout out to the AI.
Shout out to the AI. If nobody else loves us, they loves us. So
what are we even here for? Yeah.
It's just some marking spell. So that's all. So that being said, we're going to move on to the next part of the podcast. But like I said, Eli, before we get into it, we got a bunch of show, but we got to do our due diligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A plethora of content.
Plethora of content, because first thing we got to do, we have to do our 30 seconds of NFL showdown. So let's just throw that in there. Yeah. Oh, and I was able to turn the volume down on time. So that's pretty good. Okay. So first thing I want to talk about is football. We got to just fill up time for 30 seconds. So I want to give a shout out to Cliff. No, I want to give my condolences to Cliff, longtime listener, aka Living Tribunal, aka Fish Fry. Because all I know is that when I was watching the Dallas San Francisco game, Dallas was getting the brakes beat off of them. I don't even know what the score was. I just cut the shit off, before the fourth quarter was over with. So that's all I got to say about that.
Did San Francisco win then?
Man, it's ugly.
They're undefeated. Aren't they undefeated?
I don't know their score. All I know is that they got the shit beat out. I mean, like, Cowboys, just leave. Just go ahead and leave. But guess what, Eli? They sent. They announced what's going to be on the next cover of Madden.
Oh yeah,
there you go. And shout out to y'all, man, because I think y'all played Taylor Swift's boyfriend today.
Yeah, Vikings got beat by Taylor Swift's boyfriend today.
Right, and y'all tried to take him out the game, and you still couldn't do that. You couldn't even do that. You had one job. Think about it. You would have took him out. No more Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it's been a rough season for us.
I mean, if y'all would have took him out, there would have been no more Taylor Swift for the rest of the season. That would have been it. Y'all could do that. Y'all heard him. He came back on probably a broken foot or something like that, still scored on you. So
one of the many fuck ups that the Vikings keep doing.
You had one job, Eli. You had one job. All right. Demetrius said, I think we filled our quota. We filled our quota. Like I said, that's all we know about foosball. That's it. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next part of the podcast. All right. So like I said, a bunch of TV shows dropped this weekend. We actually not even gonna talk about all the stuff we saw because honestly, like, I was off all week and all I did just watch TV
There you go.
and play
Staycation.
Starfield. But yeah,
Are you
I'll talk
digging the game better now? Or
fuck
no?
no. I'll talk about Starfield next week, and I'm gonna really dig into it, but I don't want
When
to
it
get
gets
into it
fun, it needs about you need a
because
couple weeks.
they told
to
me
get fun,
the game
man.
gets fun 12 hours in. So I'm 8 hours in right now. I'm like, this shit fucking sucks, man. But they say 4 more hours, so I'm waiting. But anyway, we're gonna move past that. All right. So, like I said, we both saw some TV shows, but I'm gonna jump over the TV show that I saw first. So the TV show that I saw was, oh yeah, we are starting with that. Loki season. We're gonna start with Loki season 2. Reason we're gonna start with Loki season 2.
Finale? Really?
I messed that up. I'll fix it in post. Doesn't matter. Matter of fact, I think I messed it up. I probably put Ahsoka premiere, but anyway, you know what I mean. All right. So, like I said, we got Loki season 2 premiere. Now, I'll be honest with you, I know everybody's been waiting for another Marvel thing to come out. Like, we haven't had Marvel in so long. I miss Marvel. And Eli, they acting like Secret Invasion like wasn't a thing.
Or like Guardians, didn't come out a couple months ago. Like
Or some shit. So Guardians, I understand, but Secret Invasion was like not too long ago. It was like right there. So it's funny how like all Marvel fans have. Oh, I messed it up again. I'm trying to talk and spell at the same time. It's funny how the Marvel fans have collectively just completely deleted civil what's not civil invasion, Secret War,
Civil Invasion.
Hey,
Secret
that need to be
War?
a new thing, Marvel. I'm giving you ideas, Marvel. Let's see how fuck it up this time. Whatever it is. Oh well, leave it at that. That's all it is. All right. So I know I misspelled it. I don't care. Let's keep going. The point we want to talk about here is Loki season 2 premiere. And what I want to talk about this, like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of Loki season 1. I know Loki season 1 was everybody's favorite thing. They say it's the greatest thing Marvel ever did. I like, sorry, but I will say this: that last episode was the greatest thing Disney Plus ever did, Marvel wise, Eli. So that's all I'm saying. So that being said, it comes into season 1, season 2, and basically what season 2 is that it just pretty much established the status quo of where everybody is right now. That's what's going on right now, which is where you expect. They didn't really do too much. It was just that, and that's it. I'm trying to see what you got. Now, one thing that did, because like I said, there were some things that happened off screen that Constantine we have to address. Jonathan Majors. So Jonathan Majors didn't show up in this one, but it was like everybody was running around screaming shit like that. Oh, Jonathan Majors coming. Let's get the fuck up out of here. He's going to kill us all. And it's funny because when you think about all this shit that happened to him in real life and how you're doing this, like it hits harder now. So he's playing a piece of shit. So Marvel, nothing else. He's playing a piece of shit. Keep playing.
Art imitating life.
Yeah, it's just like it hits a little harder now. So yeah. Also want to bring up your boy.
Short Round.
Yeah, he did his thing. He was there. He was acting in a role, doing what he does. I mean, but you watch the commercials and everything like that make it seem like it's his show now. Like it's just, Short Round and Loki and Friends, like that. But because you know why? Because he won the Oscar for what was that? Everything All at Once. That shit. So which well deserved. He acted his ass off the entire time in the movie. So there's no place like he deserved that shit. I don't know who he ran up against, but no way they beat him.
Yeah, and Disney just like got their holds all over him because he was in American Born Chinese earlier this year.
But my thing is, I think he recorded all that stuff before he won the Oscar. So they're like, let's just get him. He's cheap. Let's get him in there. And now that he won the Oscar, they're like, oh, put this guy up front. Just throw him in there. So, but like I said, he's good in Loki. He's doing his thing. He's just like an IT guy or some shit like that. So he's cool, But but Disney wants to make it like this is the reason to watch this show. Like, I guess. No. So if you like Loki, it's more Loki. That's it. It really wasn't. They really didn't do much. They didn't establish a plot or anything. Like just put everything back where it was right before they fucked everything up. Now and now Kang's running around and shit like that, and that's the show. So yeah, that's all I can really tell you. So yeah, Loki season 2.
Cool.
If I know why I'm selling you on it. If you sold on, you already watched it. So yeah. So.
It should have been a Dr. Doom show, but that's just me. But.
It should have been like that. That's the problem I had with the first Loki show. It's like you doing all this TVA time travel shit. What it needs to have to do with Loki? Yeah. Like you just took a guy that you had nothing to do and just stuck him in there. You could have did this. You could have just put She-Hulk in this.
And Doom and Kang. Think about Doom and Kang, buddy flick.
Yeah, Bill and Kane's Excellent Adventure. There you go.
Why does that? Why would I watch the shit out of that?
Party on, Doom.
Doom and Kang's Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey and all.
Bogus Journey, shit like that. Yeah. All right, Eli, you're up now because this was a special request. This was a special request for this one.
This goes out to Mob Boss. He specifically
long time live. When Mob Boss say he wants some shit done, we got to do it. We got to honor it. So
shout out to Mob Boss. Thanks for listening. And this is for you, the Ahsoka season finale. And I really enjoyed this episode. Why? Because we had zombie stormtroopers.
Okay. And I realize now that people were speculating on whether or not there was zombie. The show wanted to be a surprise. They were, when they rose up and started doing that shit, we were supposed to be like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah. Well, when that
I was
part
like,
that part where Sabine like shot the mask out.
Yeah.
Shot that one in the face and the mask broke and you saw like the skull and the teeth. I was like, oh shit. You know, so that I thought that was pretty dope. So it
was supposed to be shocking for everybody. So
so seeing zombie stormtroopers was pretty fucking cool. Like I said, they've been on the Clone Wars before. It was a worm though that kind of like controlled, you know, some of the clone troopers and made them come back from the dead. But there's also a novel which I just started reading the other day called Death Troopers, and it's about
when did this novel come out?
Like during the zombie trend of the 2010s or whatever, you know, when Walking Dead was a bit.
So this is before Disney bought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it came out, when Walking Dead was a big thing and they was pumping out all these zombie movies and shit. Star Wars jumped on the zombie trend and came out with this novel called Death Troopers, and it's about a virus that breaks out on a Star Destroyer and makes people die. They reanimate. You know, turns the whole crew, the whole fleet of Imperials into zombies. A lot of that crew is stormtroopers, and then a prison barge rolls up on the derelict Star Destroyer, and to collect parts, and ends up getting, you know, attacked by the zombie plague, the zombie stormtroopers. And I just learned, like yesterday or the day before, I was reading Han Solo and Chewbacca are in this. I did not know that. Okay. So they popped up in they are prisoners on that barge. So
Han Solo, it kind of gives you a timeline of where it's supposed to take place.
Yeah, it's probably before A New Hope. Han and Chewie are just, you know, outlaws in the galaxy. They happen to be in jail, and so it's Han and Chewie and some prisoners fighting zombie stormtroopers. Pretty cool so far. Fun, stupid shit. I know it ain't canon, but it is cool to see that shit.
But that's the thing, because it's funny how you say that, because like I said, Dave, you know him better than I do, but just a brief interview I saw from him, it's like he's mining the EU. Like, it's not canon, but if you see some shit he like, give me that. That's just like what he's doing. So
it was cool to see that action scene, like seeing Sabine like with a blaster and a lightsaber, just that whole sequence was dope. And as far as like I think my only gripe is I feel like Thrawn as a whole, and this is my review of the season as a whole, I felt Thrawn was a bit underutilized, you know, because I know who Thrawn is. I've read the books, I've read the comics, I've watched I've watched Rebels and Clone Wars, and I know who Thrawn is. But to no one who doesn't know, did he make that big of an impact for?
Nah, but y'all kept talking about it like he's supposed to. So I'm just like,
yeah. So it's more, I wish they would show more than tell, I guess, when it comes to Thrawn. I no problem with the performance or the actor, any of that shit. I just wanted more of him. Same thing with Ezra. I wanted more of Ezra. I guess I just wanted more.
Ezra, I was cool with Ezra. I was like, okay, that's him. I get him, you know. But Thrawn, it's just that y'all just hype, and it wasn't just you or everybody else. The show itself. He's the worst motherfucker ever. Don't let him free. He's hell incarnate. Shit like
he's
that.
Coming back. If he comes back, we're fucked. Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, okay.
Just the last two episodes. And
I mean, honestly, like Grandma talked to me, he could probably kick his ass. It just seemed like it. But you know.
But another thing, Zeb was not on here. So there's a character in Rebels named Zeb. He's like the big monster guy. He's like their Chewbacca. And he was actually his design was one of the original designs for Chewbacca. So that's like his character is actually a reference to old Ralph McQuarrie's concept art.
Okay, it's like an Easter egg. Okay.
Yeah, Zeb was like the monster sidekick on Rebels. Was it Mando or Boba? I think it was. He showed up in he had a cameo on the last season of Mando, and I was like, oh shit, there's Zeb. So I was surprised that he did not show up in this show because he was a part of the Rebels crew. Yeah, so that's a little bit disappointed, but other than that, for the most part, I did like the season. I felt, it kind of dragged a bit in the middle, but it picked itself up at the end with these last 2 episodes, giving us, cool shit. And yeah, zombie stormtroopers. Give me more of them. I mean, it looks like they got them all. I mean, I loved how they were like they get shot and then they just rise back up like Terminators and shit.
Right.
I thought all that whole scene was cool. Cliffhangers, yeah. I mean, we got what are those 2 Jedi? What's her name? Hottie or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So you didn't lose your shit when dude was standing in front of the Lord of the Rings mountain and shit?
Oh yeah. So that's a reference to Clone Wars. That's a reference to Mortis.
Okay.
So on Clone Wars, there's a planet that is it supposed to be like the origin of the Force or very strong in the Force and the embodiment? There's like 3 characters that are like embody the Force. There's like the father, the son, and the daughter. And the son,
Holy Ghost. Okay.
Yeah, the son, the Trinity or whatever. The son's dark, the daughter's light, and the father, like, I guess is both or something like that. In the show, Ahsoka dies, and the daughter gives her energy to Ahsoka. So this ain't the first time Ahsoka's been killed and resurrected. Okay. And that bird, that like little bird that I don't know if you noticed, the bird that follows Ahsoka around, that's like an embodiment of the daughter. So that bird has shown up on Rebels and Clone Wars. It's just this bird that kind of follows her around. It's like a sign of Ahsoka.
Okay.
That's just more deep Clone Wars lore and Rebels lore. So I mean, it seems like Thrawn is gonna use like dark magic to wield his schemes. He's got a zombie army that he can keep resurrecting and shit. I'm here for that. I don't know if that's going to be set up for this movie that they're making or Ahsoka season 2, but yes, give me Thrawn and an undead army of stormtroopers, like just pillaging the galaxy. That's what I want.
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
The
Walking Dead, Star Wars.
Yeah. Like you set it up. Now let's see it. Don't keep me waiting, next season and they're still talking about doing it or Thrawn's still coming. Yeah. This better not be like, no.
Thrawn is.
Yeah. Thrawn is coming. Thrawn is like, Jesus. Yeah. Or like Game of Thrones. Winter's coming.
Like, when is he coming?
Yeah. So yeah. But for the most part, I dug it. And yeah, this zombie stormtroopers. Fuck yeah. That's my review. Fuck yeah.
There you go. Now, can I have one criticism I have about the show?
Okay.
I'm going to just say it. Okay, like I said, Rosario Dawson. Love Rosario Dawson. She was awesome in the show. But if I got to say one thing, man, she got to get better at her lightsaber skills. I'm just saying. Tell me you didn't notice it, man. Tell me she wasn't like little slow motion, like, come on, man. You got to be a little quicker than that, man. And it made it worse. It made it worse when she was against people that knew what they were doing. Like the main chick, Morgan, whatever like that. She's a professional stunt woman. Like I said, Bruce Lee is like her uncle or some shit like that. So when they were fighting, she was moving. And they're like, come on. So you're supposed to be better than her, or at least on the same speed. You better pick up the pace. I know you hate Hayden Christensen, but you got to give him credit. He knows his shit.
Oh, yeah. He trained
he knows,
months.
Yeah. And he remembers all that shit. So when
Yeah.
he was going against Ahsoka, they would fight. I'm like, come on, you slow down, man. You making her look bad, man. Do something. And so that's what I'm saying. So just get to the lab, get the gym, do something, get your speed up.
It is a little jarring to like have seen Ahsoka in animation form
Right.
for the past decade do
Right.
all this shit.
Right. And I'm
And
not
then
even expecting that. I understand you're not gonna do all that shit. But come on, at least you gotta speed that shit up, man. Come on.
and then see the live action version of Ahsoka not do all that shit.
Right.
So I would just my excuse is that she's getting old.
Right. But the other people she's going against older than her. Hayden and Chris are older than her. The Morgan chick older than her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. That's not only that's the only criticism I had about it, but I was just like every time she started fighting, I'm like, come on, man. It's I don't know. That's just me. Maybe a small little minor nitpick. Maybe I'm the only person to notice it. That's just me. So I don't know. So let me say we move on to the next part of the podcast.
All right.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move on to, like I said, your part. This is the part that you've been waiting for, the part that you've been researching. So I've been workshopping some stuff, Eli, the Eli's House of Harmon. We're working on it. We're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, how do we do this? We do this, right? Boom.
Uh-oh.
Is that
Don't
how
put
we
football
do it?
back on there.
Huh?
I said don't put football back on there.
How do I
I'm trying to get rid of it.
How do I switch it to that? Oh well, anyways, I can't. Okay. Anyways, welcome to Eli's Horror Minute or whatever you're calling it. So yeah, this is where I will break down horror movies that I like to watch during Halloween season or like the month of October to get me in the Halloween spirit. This week I'll be doing two movies called Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat 2007 and Trick or Treat 1986. So
are
first
they
off,
related in any way?
No.
Okay, I just asked.
Now, horror movies, Halloween horror movies, been a thing since 1978 when Michael Myers came out, and so that's just a thing, Halloween horror movies. So Trick or Treat is an anthology horror movie, a lot of fun. It's basically got Sam, the little goblin character. He's like the through line, and he it's kind of like it's an anthology. It's like different stories. They kind of intertwine that all take place on Halloween night. A lot of fun. Got your staples of Halloween: werewolves, vampires, murder, mayhem. Just sort of just these stories that these scary kind of like almost like campfire stories. They take place in this small town and they all intertwine together. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It actually was supposed. I think they were making a comic book. I think Wildstorm was supposed to make a comic book, or they did make a comic book, because in the original or during the opening credits, it's all like comic book panels. So it's meant to be a throwback to
those ECU
EC Comics.
EC Comics, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a throwback to that. Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt, creepy, eerie, all that stuff. This is just a lot of fun. It's like I said, it's directed by Michael Dougherty, who made that one of them newer Godzilla movies, and he also made Krampus, that Christmas horror flick, which I think is pretty cool. This is just a fun horror flick to watch during Halloween season. Like I said, it's just an anthology of stories. They all kind of intertwine, and this guy Sam, this little creepy little dude, and burlap sack for a mask. He's like the Halloween spirit or whatever. He goes around,
but
and
that's their mascot. So
yeah, and he's like the only through character throughout the whole movie. So it's got there's a really gross scene in here. Like I said, remember I have my triggers, and one of them is food. There's a really gross scene there where a kid is puking up a bunch of Halloween candy, and it's like
Wow, okay.
This is just a lot of fun. Like I said, original Halloween movie, Michael Myers, 1978, that kind of spawned holiday horror, because after that we had Silent Night, Deadly Night, April Fool's Day, and My Bloody Valentine. We had that was like a thing in the slasher trend, was like horror that came out, horror movies that occurred on holidays. So naturally, there's so many Halloween horror movies now. Terrifier. Those movies take place on Halloween. What's that? Hellfest. There's a bunch of really solid Halloween horror flicks that come out. That they've made since, for decades. But this is one of my faves. Trick or Treat. It's a lot of fun. Just a fun Halloween horror flick. And the next Trick or Treat, Trick or Treat 1986. Now, this is about a metalhead played by Skippy from Family Ties.
I remember Skippy, but I can't remember what he looked like.
He was like the nerdy neighbor.
Was he Michael J. Fox's friend or?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I can't. Is there another way I can? He's down here. He's the banner's covering his face.
Hold on. Let me get that out of there.
Yeah. There he is.
Still don't recognize him.
You know, right? So anyways, Skippy from Family Ties, he plays this metalhead. He's like an outcast in high school. He's being bullied. His favorite metal band, the metal singer Sammy Kerr, dies, and his spirit is inside his last record. And what he does is he plays the record backwards. The spirit basically helps him out and helps for the first half of the movie. He's like getting revenge on his bullies, but then the ghost of Sammy Kerr ends up, start wreaking more havoc and shit like that. And he has to stop him at the end. Because the ending is totally like Carrie, where his ghost comes back and plays a concert during a Halloween dance, and he starts killing everybody like Carrie. It's like a metal version of Carrie at the end.
Gotcha.
This is just stupid fun. Ozzy Osbourne makes a cameo in this. He plays a priest who's condemning heavy metal, which is hilarious. Gene Simmons from Kiss plays the DJ. So yeah, and it's got a solid soundtrack. Fastway, the band Fastway does all the songs on this. That was the guy from the guitarist quit Motorhead and came up with the band Fastway. So they did all the songs for this movie. And it's a pretty solid soundtrack. I love the soundtrack. Every year on Halloween, I mention everybody, let's do a Sammy Kerr Trick or Treat tribute show and learn all the songs from this movie. Because, I'm in a band. We've done Halloween tributes before where we just do a Halloween show when we cover a whole band set. Like we've done Slayer and Suicidal Tendencies, SOD. I did Misfits one time. Yeah. So I was like, hey, let's do a Trick or Treat Sammy Kerr tribute. But no one knows this movie. There's like very little people who know what this movie is. But no, this is just a lot of fun. I've always dug on this since I was a kid. It's like when we talk about heavy metal representation, this kind of nails it. I mean, he's a kid. He's kind of, it gets into the rebellion and how metalheads tend to be outcasts and outsiders and stuff, and kind of treated differently, especially back in the 80s. This came out in the 80s, so
right.
It kind of really embodies that whole what it was like to be a metalhead back then and why metalheads do what they do. So that always spoke to me as a kid, listening to metal, kind of defending metal. Society was condemning it and all this shit, and I'm like, what's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with it. Because I always hated like Wayne's World or Bill and Ted's, where they kind of make caricatures of metalheads and stuff, like cartoony versions of metalheads. But this has I thought had a pretty cool representation of metalheads. So again, I this is one of my Halloween horror flicks that I watch every year just to get me in the mood. It's a lot of fun, and check it out. Trick or Treat, both Trick or Treats.
Both Trick or Treats. Okay. So which one do you prefer? This one is obviously just, I've been watching this like since I was a kid. But the other one, like Trick or Treat, 2007, I think this one that came out. This is fun too. Like this is for everybody. If Trick or Treat 1986,
if you're not into metal, you probably won't appreciate it as much as I do. But this one is for everybody. It's just an all-around, straight-up Halloween horror flick. 5 spooky tales kind of intertwining with each other. Pretty cool shit. Ghosts, vampires, werewolves, murder and mayhem, and a creepy little goblin character. Yeah, just a lot of fun. Everything that makes Halloween fun is all in this flick. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, that was Eli's house. Like I said, we're gonna workshop that House of Horror. I don't know.
House of Horror minute.
Yeah, I just like, let's think of something. And matter of fact, what I was thinking of, I think I forgot about it at the time, but we'll come back to it anyway. All right, now let's move on to the video game section. Like I said, this is something we talked about. I don't know what, about a month ago, 2 weeks ago, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is with Kenny Omega and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. I hope I got his name right. Like I said, it's my first time hearing about this. They finally did their match in Street Fighter, and it was on Twitch, and they did stream the whole thing, and they filmed the whole thing, and it was out. Funny thing is, they actually did like catch up on Twitter like a few weeks ago. I saw people on Twitter, and they thought that they were actually going to fight for real. They didn't know it was Street Fighter. So when they saw Street Fighter, like, oh fuck
shit,
this shit. So, or they may have thought they were going to wrestle or some shit, but when they thought it was just Street Fighter, that was it. So yeah, like I said, Kenny Omega, and they hyped it. They hyped it to hell. It was on like some professional Twitch channel. Like I said, didn't watch it. And like I said, pretty much everything we thought was going to happen happened. I kind of called it ahead of time, Eli. I said that Kenny Omega was pretty much going to wash, when the match started. And I just thought I'd just break down some matches of what I saw for the match. Now, this, like I said, this thing was like 2 hours long. I watched the whole thing. The first part of it was actually like real set with going at it. And the other parts of it was just doing other bullshit that the Twitch channel wanted them to do, like play with the guitar and play with a keyboard and bullshit like that. But then they played for real.
Yeah, I saw that, how they were giving them different like tech or whatever.
Did you see how mad Kenny Omega was getting when they made him do that? They're like, no, I want to play regular Street Fighter. I want to play this bullshit, this gimmicky shit y'all doing right now. I want to play with, traps on the floor and mice running around on the floor and shit like that. Like that shit for, Smash Brothers. We want to play like real Street Fighter. That's what we want to do right here.
Yeah.
So when they actually got to play a real match, because like I said, they've been talking shit the whole time, they got to play a whole match. I do want to say this: that crew they had, the co-host that they had that doing it, they suck. They don't know how to like commentate on Street Fighter at all. They don't know shit. You had that tall dude. He kept saying, "Oh, the neutral. Look at the footsies." It's like he's just saying just bullshit that he just think he knows what's going on. Like, come on, man. Like, so let me break down the match. Tell you what I thought. So watching this match, I realized that even before the match started, your boy DJ had lost. Now, I will say this. Your boy DJ, he nice. I thought he was gonna be some bullshit like Xavier Woods, whatever his name was. Like, no, I'm looking at the shit he was doing. No, he was doing some like high level shit he was doing. Like a couple of them moves he was doing, like 2-frame links and shit. And he kept consistently landing that shit. I was like, that shit is hard as fuck to do. Plus, that they had them doing that shit online. So I'm like, damn, he nailing that shit. But I can tell, but looking at him I can tell some things that he's not used to playing high level Street Fighter players. Because it was like certain shit Kenny Omega was doing, he didn't adapt. He was not adapting to it. So he kept falling for the shit over and over again. And he kind of like waiting for him to come to him. Another thing, he kept throwing the Sonic Boom. He kept throwing them away way too far. He gave him too much distance, like shit like that. So when you're playing Guile and you're throwing them Sonic Booms, you can't sit on the other side of the screen and just throw that shit all day. You're giving the people time to catch you. But I realized why he was doing that. He got in that round. He did the shit by lucky. He wasn't playing that shit right there. I remember when he did that. But I do know this, that we got in his head, Eli. Not Kenny Omega. We got in his head. I got in his head. Twitch got in his head. Twitter got in his head. The Stream Monster got in his head. Because we told him he can't beat Kenny Omega. So he played him too safe. He played him too passively. He gave Kenny Omega too much respect. And when you do that, you already lost. So you're already in his head, like he like, oh, this guy's gonna do this. I gotta give him so much space, well, he'll do some shit to me. But when he should have just went at him, should have been aggressive, should have just put the pressure on him. And when he gave him too much space, he gave him too much room to do whatever he wanted to do. Another thing he fucked up in this match, he let Kenny Omega get in too much. Like, okay, what's name? I know you know enough Street Fighter. You know Gal's two main moves, right? Sonic Boom and Flash Kick. He rarely did the Flash Kick. All he did was because that, and if he did the Flash Kick, that would have stopped Kenny Omega from coming in on him. That would have like, okay, let me fall back because I'm gonna catch a Flash Kick to the face. He never did it. So whenever did that, Kenny Omega just come in anytime he felt like and just rush him down and just take over the match. So the point was he was playing too safe. That's his problem. But I feel like, but Kenny Omega said it towards the end of it. He was like if you start playing more people at a high level, you can actually like be dangerous, like good at this shit. Because we see the bones of it right there. We can see it, but he just needs more practice. He needs more, he needs to understand how to read people more on this game like that. Because Street Fighter's all like, you don't play Street Fighter with this. You play Street Fighter with this. You got to read people. You got to anticipate their moves before they do it, and you got to show them just in respect, but not too much respect. And sometimes show them no respect. You got to know when to go with a guy. So, like I said, that's the first matchup, and then the towards the end when DJ started he really did start figuring Kenny Omega out, and he started going for him, and the matches were a lot tighter and a lot closer then. Like they were really going at it then, but by then, the show was about to end, so they didn't care. Like, okay, y'all get the fuck out of here. So that's my thing like that. So overall, like I said, the score at the beginning of it was like 5-1, and if people just see the score, they're gonna think like he got his ass whooped. But when you watch it, it was actually a lot closer than you think it was. Like you can see the stuff that was going on right there. It's just that Kenny was adjusting because he used to playing high level folks like that, and DJ wasn't because he was used to playing high level folks like that. That's all. So overall, I'm pretty good set. It was.
I was surprised that Mighty Mouse was able to hold his own.
I was shocked, and like when you watch like the Twitch comments, people were like, "Oh, I didn't know he was that good." We just thought he was just talking some bullshit, like Waka Waka Flame and shit like that. But nah, when he actually was doing shit that, like, okay, he's been playing. So, all right, so yeah, that's all I got. Like I said, that's the video game section.
Okay, that's it. All right, I thought this was gonna be the whole show.
No. I wasn't finna do like frame. Like, why would I talk about links and frame rates and option selects and I'm not gonna talk about that. I could go frame by frame and like watch them, but I'm not doing all that shit. Let somebody do it. Honestly, there are a whole bunch of other YouTube channels that actually do shit like that. I actually watch channels like that just sit there and just break down Street Fighter matches like that. But I'm not gonna do all that shit. So just know they're out there. So that being said, move on to the next part of the podcast.
All right.
Okay, like I said, it's Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about comic books. And Eli, I'm gonna let you jump off with it first, and let's see what you got.
Okay, well, I guess I will do the Aliens Annual.
Aliens Annual,
number 1. So, Marvel's made it to the annual. Is this their first one? It feels like they've had aliens for a long time, but
first one that I know of.
So, but anyways, this is the first annual, Aliens Annual, and this is just basically a silent issue. There's no dialogue in this. Very little dialogue. I mean, I think there's sound effects, some text for sound effects, but this is just basically it refers to Alien 3, the movie, where
it was in that prison.
They're in the prison, and the host came out of a dog.
Did it happen in that movie? I don't remember that happening in that movie.
Yeah, the alien latched the face hugger got a dog, and it came out of a dog. So then the alien was on all fours, resembled a dog, and so it's basically how the xenomorph resembles the host. So on this planet, an infested alien ship crashes on this planet with these other like rhino sort of cattle aliens, and the face huggers, basically latch onto these alien rhino things and become rhino type of aliens.
Okay.
And then basically become a whole new other species of aliens, and then those aliens end up fighting the original aliens. So there's this big, huge tribal warfare between aliens on this planet, and it's just them. them fighting each other, them developing and evolving into these like rhino aliens, and then fighting the other aliens. That's pretty much it, and it's just all silent. Pretty cool. It reminds me of, I believe it was it Hives or Genocide? Back in when Dark Horse had aliens back in the day, back in the 90s, and they were doing alien comics.
Mm-hmm.
There was a storyline where there was like the green aliens and the red aliens, and they were fighting each other. They didn't like each other on a planet. I think it was Genocide. I think it was Aliens Genocide. I'm pretty sure that was the story arc. But that's what it reminded me of these two different species of aliens, xenomorphs, two different kind of xenomorphs fighting each other. And yeah, so it was pretty cool. Like I said, silent issue, no dialogue, just aliens, doing alien shit and then fighting each other. So yeah, pretty cool. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. They have not lost me yet. I'm still on this. As much as I thought I wouldn't dig the Disney aliens,
Right?
Still,
Thought it gonna be
still
a
on
Disney
this book,
princess, and they were gonna get a prince, and
yeah, their own kingdom, the queen, alien queen.
Yeah, they was gonna start singing and shit, but yeah. All right. So first book I'm going to do is Jonathan Hickman's Gods.
Oh yeah,
Eli, did you read this?
I did not.
Man, let me tell you something. Okay. This book is 63 pages.
Yeah.
I think it was $10. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I think it was $10.
I saw the price and I'm like, no.
Yeah. Honestly, I saw the price. I was like, fuck no. Then I was like, let me, because this the shit I do. So it's just like, let me just read this shit. Maybe it's some epic shit that if I don't read them up, feel like I should have seen. It's always that FOMO, fear of missing out. So I almost had to get it just to see what was going on. So yeah,
I need to know what the nerds are talking about.
Yeah, I need to know, man. I need to be part of the cool crowd, I guess. Cool crowd of nerds, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, so like I said, it's 63 pages. But however, Eli, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna run through this shit as fast as possible. I'm gonna just hit the high notes. That's what we're gonna do with this one. Okay.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go take care of something real quick. So you take it away.
Cool. All right, that's what we're gonna do. We got Gods right here. Boom. And like I said, we're gonna just fly through this thing. Like I said, this is Jonathan Hickman's Gods. So main thing you need to know. I'm gonna just get to it as quick as possible. Let's get to these two people right here. So what you need to know is that the universe is made up of two people. They're made up of the powers that be, and they're made up of here we go. Good page. Okay, so you made up of the powers of be and the natural order of things. So those are the two forces and entities and deities that make up the Marvel universe. Now, what they look like, who are they? We don't know. They don't say anything about them. They just say that's it. Point is, the guy in the red name is Win. He is the avatar of the powers that be. And the natural order of things actually has 100 people that follow them. They call them the Centaurs. And that's his ex-wife. She's just one of the other ones. So that's the thing right there. So she's one of them. I can't remember her name. I know her name is not clear. And then you got this other guy right here. So the other guy right here name is Demetrius the Science Boy. He is Win's sidekick, but he's also a Centaur. So he's also part of the natural order of things. So the thing is, they're going to this big meeting that all the magic people and the science people are having in the Library of Congress, Library of Worlds. So it's like all the magic people are there. So you got Doctor Strange, and you got Dr. Doom, and you got T'Challa, and you got Reed Richards, and all the magic and the science people and shit like that. Basically, going on right now is that AIM has been dabbling with magic, and they let some dude called Cosmic Cubic, what the fuck his name is? Cosmic Cubis Core. Cubis Core is the name. Okay, so he's a magic user named Cubis Core, and he has stolen the wand of the Living Tribunal from AIM because they've been dealing with magic and they got their hands on it and that's it. So now he's got it, and now he's going to wage war on the world, and he's going to open this portal called the Prometheus Portal, and he's going to use that to power up the Living Tribunal to basically warp reality to any way he wants and send all like demons and hell creatures to Earth. That's the thing right there. And Doctor Strange calls this a Babylon event. So he basically saying we need to like everybody, and Amadeus Cho is here, so everybody needs to team up and take this guy out, and before he destroys the universe, and that's the plan. While they're doing all that, oh, matter of fact, this is what Cubic Score looks like. Weird looking dude, bubbles all over his head and shit like that. Weird looking dude. So while they're doing all that, they fight this guy. All the magic people, science people, cosmic people, centaurs, and all shit like that. They go fight the guy, and according to plan, they get their ass beat because, of course, he sends all kind of demons at them. They can't do anything with them. But while they're doing that, Win is instead trading magic with like all the other magic people around there. So he's going there. He got something from the collector. He got this book from the collector, and he's going to use that on cosmic cubic core, whatever his name is, use it on him. And what he did while they're fighting, he throws some stuff at him, and cosmic cubic core, whatever his name is, take the book and picks the book up and read it because he think that he's hiding the book from him. He's going to use the book to try to stop him. So like, I'm going to take this book and use the knowledge of it. But what happens when he reads the book, his mind gets wiped because the book is a magic book that anybody reads it, mind gets wiped unless somebody stops him. So that's how they beat him. Well, and the world is saved. So yeah. So that's it. His ex-wife kisses him for saving the world, and that's the book. So yeah. So yeah. So basically, yeah, that's what's going on. He'll be back. So basically, what happened is John Hickman made Constantine. That's what he did. He just made Constantine. So my whole thing about this, I'm gonna just give a review on this one. So I don't understand how this Wind guy and the Centaur guys and the Scimitars are like that. I don't know how they fit in the Marvel like hierarchy and things like that. Like they fit there because, like I said, you got plenty of magic people, you got plenty of science people, you got plenty of cosmic people. It sounds like Hickman is trying to do his own version of Eternals. This is what the Eternals was. The Eternals, are descendants of the space gods and like that, and they're just going off through the world, just doing shit. So like this guy's doing the same thing. Like I said, it's an 8 issue long book. I don't know if they're all 63 pages, but like I said, he's saying by the time Hickman is done with this, Hickman is going to completely rewrite how Marvel's cosmic nature is done. Like I said, Marvel's cosmic nature is already a thing. You got infinity, you got eternity, you got death, you got the in-betweener, you got the living tribunal, you got the one above all. All this stuff has already been established. So basically what Hickman's trying to say is that you back. Okay. So Hickman's trying to say that all the stuff that already been done in Marvel, they're just throwing it out the window, and Hickman's gonna do his own thing. So I don't get it, Eli. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's my thing. This thing, I actually like the book. I actually like the book. $10 worth? No, fuck no, not $10 worth. But I just don't understand how this book fit, like how these characters fit in Marvel. Like if they was like some Wildstorm shit or some Image shit or even DC shit, I get it. But Marvel already has like their hierarchy explained, so I don't get where this falls. So I don't know. Maybe there's gonna be a bigger shoe to drop than what I know of, but I don't know. So that's my thing. Would I get this book? I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. So yeah. Oh, you did? I don't hear you. I don't hear you. It's yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. I hear you now. Okay. I said it's gonna be tough to review your book. We can't hear you. I guess I had to mime for you. So yeah. So that's my thing. So all right. So what book you got next?
I will do Transformers #1.
Transformers #1. Yeah. I was looking for this and I was like, oh shit, Image. I like, even though I knew that, it still didn't hit me that Image doing a Transformer book. So
yeah. So this is my book of the week.
I imagine. Yeah.
Transformers, Daniel Warren Johnson.
I imagine this Geeks and Comics, just the whole show was just this.
Oh yeah. I didn't listen to him yet. But
I didn't either. But I just imagine that's what it was.
I bet they broke the shit down because Gomer's a huge Transformers fan, and I think AKA David is too.
What is he not a fan of?
Yeah, yeah.
he knows everything, so yeah.
Yeah. So this is Daniel Warren Johnson. Love his work. He won an Eisner earlier this year for Do a Power Bomb.
which
a
you
book
reviewed on here,
which I reviewed and loved. So he won a Eisner for that, which I believe he really deserves it. But yeah, I just been a fan of his. That Beta Ray Bill book he did, the Wonder Woman Dead Earth, Murder Falcon. Yeah, I'm just a huge fan of Daniel Warren Johnson, and he usually
it sounded like
writes.
he could have won an Eisner for any of those. They just like pick one.
Yeah,
There you go.
Extremity. Yeah,
Yeah.
He does. He usually writes and draws it like pencils and inks. Mike Spicer does the art or the coloring, but Daniel Warren Johnson, yeah, writes and draws everything, his books and stuff. So it's cool when an artist, a great artist, is also a really solid writer too. And so yeah, so Transformers, they were part of IDW. Well, we know Transformers started out as a toy line. They did Marvel did a comic book for a long time, and then also there was also a cartoon that I loved, and then IDW had Transformers comics for many years.
And the crazy thing about those Marvel comics, like back in the 80s, they were canon. They were 616 at the time. Like Spider-Man would show up, all kind of crazy shit. It was just like, okay. And then it just slowly phased it out. It's like, shh, don't talk about it.
So yeah, I mean, IDW had the Transformers license for a long time, and that's where Gomer and his, what was it called? Instruments of Destruction?
Yeah. Like they had
a podcast
just on Transformers. Just on that comic of Transformers.
Yeah, just on the IDW Transformers book. They had a whole podcast dedicated to that, just the Transformers. So that's how deep they rolled. But now Transformers is now on Image, along with G.I. Joe and all that. So Transformers, Image, Daniel Warren Johnson, writing and drawing. And it's an updated, it's a reboot. It's a reboot of the cartoon or the original Transformers origin. The arc or whatever crashes on Earth. Spike, and what's his dad's name again? Spike and his dad. There is a bit of tension between Spike and his father's relationship. So there's some sort of a tragic background. We don't know yet, but there is. They are at odds with each other. Which is something that Daniel Warren Johnson does really well. He does family drama. He just does drama, human drama, very well in his stories. So we got that humanity layer, in this story about giant robots. So anyways, Spike, the kid, and his friend discover the ship. They're up on the mountain stargazing, and they discover the ship that crashed into Earth full of these giant robots. The giant robots wake up and they start fighting, and they refer to the war, how Decepticons and Autobots were at war for hundreds of years back on Cybertron, and Starscream is shooting Bumblebee in the head and shit, looks like he's dead and shit. Goes pretty brutal, and that's where Daniel Warren Johnson really shines. His action, the way he draws action. It's very brutal. It's very raw, very visceral, and yeah, so very kinetic. It's just full of this kinetic energy when you watch his action. And here, this panel, this is Optimus Prime suplexing Starscream. So yeah, so the Transformers wake up. They start fighting. At one point, Spike decides to help out Optimus Prime. And they take off. They take the humans and run. Optimus Prime throws them inside himself because he's a truck, and they drive to this quarry hideout. Spike takes them to this quarry where they hide out, and then Starscream, we got to get some energon so we can go back to Cybertron. So it's the same concept. It's the same story we know of what the Transformers are. They crash landed on Earth. They've been fighting each other on Cybertron, the different factions, and now they need energy to get back there. So they start searching the Earth for energon cubes and stuff like that. So that's all there. This is just an updated, brutal version of all that because it's Daniel Warren Johnson drawing everything. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. A lot of callbacks to childhood favorites. And yeah, it's just cool to see Transformers done right because I have not. I mean, I never read any of the IDW shit as much as Gomer and them talked it up.
And
I
that was
never
like
got
his top
around.
5 when we started naming like runs or comics or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, it was like his like high top 5. Yeah.
yeah. He calls the Transformers universe one of the best comics of all time. I never got into them. I was more into the cartoons as a kid. But the Michael Bay movie sucked. I mean, I never really gave a shit about Transformers in my adult life, but this comic is pretty solid. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Fuck it, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Fuck it.
What? Okay.
Yeah. My book of the week. A lot of fun, dope ass art, and just a solid update, a solid reboot of a childhood figure.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
what
like you said, baseline. I mean, all you need to know is just your basic. You didn't even know that. If you said it's like a reboot, you could just go in this, not
Yeah.
know anything.
Yeah.
Just go in. That could be your introduction to Transformers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid
Yeah.
jumping on point. If you've never heard of the Transformers or not, or know what they are, you can pick up this book and know what you need to. So yeah,
Yeah, can't beat that.
this is dope. So look forward to issue 2.
All right. So next book I'm going to do is that we're starting the X Minutes. I'm gonna ask you anyway. Eli, did you read this?
I didn't know. Sorry.
Damn it. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So like I said,
How much was this book?
This was not too bad, like $4 or some shit like that.
Standard. So
yeah, and X-Men is starting to hurt your pockets also. Like, oh no, I'm not doing X-Men. I'm not doing X-Men. My fault. No, I do X-Men later.
Okay.
Let's do
whatever you
Batman.
want to do, man.
Yeah, let's do Batman. Yeah.
I did read this. Yes.
Okay.
I did read
All
Batman.
right. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I knew it was something I was missing in between. We're doing Batman. We're doing Batman 138. This is still continuing the Civil War.
Gotham War.
Yeah, Gotham Civil War. Yeah, all that. So, same thing was happening last time. Like I said, Batman is slowly being taken over by Zur-En-Arr, his evil personality, robotic personality, and everybody's trying to stop him. Yeah, that's what's going on. So yeah. All right. So like I said, we're gonna start off with Vandal Savage, because of course we start off with Vandal Savage. We also got Ra's al Ghul. Now, Eli, like I told you, I'm thinking they wanted to do Ra's al Ghul for the story, but Ra's al Ghul is dead right now. So like, fuck it, do Vandal Savage. They're the same. Who cares? There's also a retcon that I picked up on. I wouldn't say retcon. There's a plot hole going on right now. Now, some stories I read, I think like with this that whole Dark Knight's Metal and shit like that, they were trying to say like the Lazarus Pit is tied to that same meteor that gave Vandal Savage's powers. However, in what else did I read? That whole Devil Neza bullshit. They saying Devil Neza created the Lazarus Pit. So which one is it? Fuck it. Choose your own adventure, whatever you want to say. So anyway, in this story right here, they're saying they got the same powers. They both got their powers from the meteor, as Lazarus meteor, whatever like that. But the longer the meteor has been around, the Lazarus Pits are getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And Vandal Savage needs that to power himself up. So that's a bookend story. The main point of the story right here is that we find out what happened to Jason last issue in the Catwoman book. Batman caught him, stuck him with something, and now he's feeling fear toxin. So basically what Batman did, he stuck him with fear. He didn't stick him with fear toxin, but he stuck him with some kind of drug that anytime he has the urge to kill, he gets hit with fear, like the fear toxin kicks in. Because he has an urge to kill right now. You're looking at Batman. He's like, for fucking with me. So he's hitting here with fear toxin and can't move. So and the reason Batman's doing this, he's saying like, so this will basically, you can have a normal life. You can leave this shit alone. Because what I should do is put you in jail because all the people you kill. But since I love you and you're my son, this is the best way out. This is you to save you from yourself. He's like, well, Bruce, what about who's going to save you from yourself? And then we go from there. And now he's got an alarm and somebody is in his brownstone. So he's going there. And yeah, so basically what's going on, they already know about Zur-En-Arr. I don't know how they know about Zur-En-Arr. They just do. Because I don't know why Batman said anything about him. So basically, he's doing like his fail-safe protocol. So basically, Batman put Dick in charge just in case if he goes crazy, Nightwing has a way to shut him down. So they could go in there, and before he can do that, Damian shows up, and Damian like, what you doing with my daddy shit? So they fight. He scratches him good, gets a good shot in on him, but that's when Tim grabs him, and Tim like, go finish doing what you were doing. I'll take Damian. We're gonna go outside and finish it. So he bat ropes him out, and they go outside and they finish doing whatever they're doing. Meanwhile, Nightwing's Catwoman's doing some Catwoman shit. Doesn't matter. I don't care. And then he give the oath. I guess that's from like the 40s Batman book, whenever Robin first shows up, shit like that. And then Batman finishes the oath for him. He's like, I planned for everything, Dick, except this moment right here. I didn't think you would betray me. So he's like, yeah, somebody got to stop you, man. You going crazy. Nobody knows what Jason is. And then while he's about to do that, he gets a phone. Batman gets a phone call from the Riddler. And the Riddler like giving us some kind of like real ass Riddler shit like that, And he was like, okay, so you kidnapped Jason, you working with the Riddler, and you don't see a problem with any of this shit you're doing right now. So they just start fighting. And while they're fighting, Batman breaks his, Eskrima stick, and then once again punch him in the face. So as he always does. But and he thinks the fight's over, but nah, Nightwing's still going, and they keep fighting. Meanwhile, Damian and Tim going in, and Damian's just like, why are you fighting, Tim? You suck. You can't beat me. And they're like, yeah, I can't beat you in a fair fight. So he cheats. His bow has like a taser on it, so he like shocks him. And then while he's stunned, he, handcuffs him. So he goes, and that's when Batman gets kicked out of the top of his brownstone, and Nightwing is still fighting him. And he's just like, okay, so you doing all this crazy shit. You messing up what Selina's doing. You kidnapped Jason. Batman rips off a car door and beats him with it. I didn't know he was that strong, but he's Batman, so just whatever. And Tim just like, Tim's like, Dick, go back up there and finish what you were doing. I'll handle Bruce. You're like, okay, you'll handle him? And that's when Tim just tells him, like, look, man, you brought me on from the very beginning to pull you from the darkness. Because when Jason died, you was over the edge. I pulled you back from that. Right now, you're over the edge. I'm pulling you back from that. I'm the one that pulls you back from the edge. Not Dick, not Damian, not Jason. That's what I'm here for. So, like, that's Tim's whole rule. He doesn't beat his ass and like that. He just talks him out of it. And while he's doing that, Batman stands up while he's still tied, two hands behind his back, and still fights Tim. So Tim kind of has a chance with two hands tied behind Batman's back. We know he doesn't, but still. So Nightwing goes back up there. He puts the handprint on there, but he's like, before you do that, tell me what happened to Jason Todd. So he asked computer what happened to Jason. So even with two hands tied behind his back, Batman is still beating the shit out of Tim. That's how much Tim sucks, even though he's still Batman, but still, And then he breaks his bow and beats the shit out of him. So it's like, okay, nobody has a chance. But then Nightwing's like, okay, so he knows what he did. He knows that he sprayed Jason with fear toxin and altered his mind against his will. So now all gloves are off. Nightwing just beating the shit out of him. He just like, and I told y'all, Nightwing can get him. And that's when Tim hold him back, like, no, don't do that. Stop the violence, all this shit like that. So while he pauses, Batman webs him up with some kind of net stuff like that. He's like, look, I'm tired of all of y'all. I'm sick of this shit. Y'all don't understand that I don't give a fuck about my secret identity. The only reason I keep my secret identity is for y'all benefit. But now I got to teach y'all a lesson. I'm going to leave the police for y'all. And I'm going to get out of here. So he knows the police catch them. He knows that they're going to unmask them, know the secret identity, knows it's going to tie back to Bruce Wayne, find out Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he doesn't care. This is how far off the deep end he is right now. So he climbs up there, looks at them while the police are coming, and they're looking at him. They knowing they can't get loose, but he throws them a batarang before he leaves. I guess he like changed his mind at the last minute, or Batman is kind of like sneaking through Zernar, and then he leaves. So now that they have a batarang to cut themselves free, and they realize, okay, the police are about 4 blocks away. We need to get the hell out of here. Meanwhile, Damon's are like, Father, what the fuck? I understand you give a shit about them, but it's me. Like, you left your baby boy. So he's, he's crying and shit like that because, like, Batman left him too. He was gonna leave all of them. Like, yeah. And then he was like, why he leave me? And then Tim just like, don't worry, we're gonna rescue our father. And they hug. Like, this may be the first time they've ever hugged. These two, because they hate each other. So
I did notice that.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Jason, is just paralyzed because Batman fucked him up. And Scandal Savage is here because they got ways to find him. And apparently she's the only reason she's here is to reach into Jason's pocket, not for that. But because one of those Lazarus stones or jewels were like that, Jason has had with him the whole time, didn't even know what it was. So she just came here for that. She's like, look, Jason, you're one of the best fighters I've ever seen. I'm starting building an army. Vandal Savage is going to take over Gotham. You come with me, he'll make you the lieutenant. You'll be the top of it and you'll take over everything. But Jason can't move because of this shit Batman did to him. He's like, I can't go anywhere. I'm paralyzed. You're like, damn. Oh well. Off your job, you fucked up. So oh well. And she leaves. So meanwhile, and then Batman's hopping around and shit like that. And then I guess he's at Crime Alley. He visualizes, himself, from Crime Alley. But the baby, 10-year-old Bruce turns into Zermar Bruce, like, unleash me, take control, and shit like that. So Zermar's taking over. But he can't take over because, he loves his family. And that's when Catwoman's like, we need to talk. So what will happen in that? I guess we'll find out
it's Catwoman.
Catwoman finally shows up in a Batman versus Catwoman book. Who knows? I guess she's finally decided to do some shit. Meanwhile, Vandal Savage has taken over her army while she's out there fucking around with Bruce taking over the army. The reason he's done that because this stone right here is the thing that Vandal Savage needed, but Ra's al Ghul kept it on the whole time. But now that he's dead, he has the stone, and now he has Lazarus and has all the shit like that. So he's going to use the stone to turn all of Catwoman's army into immortals, and they're going to be called the League of Shadows. And yeah, so it's no longer a Batman versus Catwoman book. It's a Batman versus Vandal Savage and Scandal Savage and Macho Man Randall Savage and all these other people books. So yeah, this book took a turn, and it's not even Batman. It's crazy Looney Tunes Batman. So yeah, this series took a turn. It wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah, I so don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, it's
like I jumped on this. I haven't been reading Batman for a while, and I jumped on this book because I thought it was going to be about Catwoman running Gotham, and I thought it was going to be about
some street level shit, right?
Yeah, some street level mob, Catwoman's running Gotham type of shit, and it's not that, and I don't care again anymore.
She's barely a factor in this story.
Yeah,
like she was barely like the last issue we read last week was a Catwoman book, and she was barely in that.
She was barely in that book.
Her own book.
Don't give a shit about Vandal Savage or Ra's al Ghul coming back or this immortal army. No, I wanted Selina running Gotham better than all the mobsters did, all the other, and then fucking doing shit Batman could never do. That's the story I want to read.
Right.
And that's not what it is now. It's all this shit that I don't care.
Catwoman can just leave now. I mean, Vandal Savage took over. We don't even need you anymore. It's just
like I was reading this book. I'm like, I don't care. Even when fucking Damien and Tim hugged, I was like, I don't. I'm supposed to give a shit about this.
Nah, I gave a shit about that. I gave a shit about that. Everything else is like no.
I did not. I was like, now they're trying to distract me from what I want to see. And then Catwoman shows up on the last panel. I'm like, oh, now you're gonna patronize me by.
I kind of forgot she was in this story. Just like, oh, Catwoman's here. Like, what's she here for?
Yeah, like, oh yeah, look at the main character of the story who hasn't been in the story this whole time.
Right.
Yeah. I think I'm done. I think I'm.
I gotta ride it out to the end. I gotta just to see. I gotta see. I'm a completionist. So yeah. All right. So, all right. So, what you got next?
I will do this Godzilla Here Be Dragons number 4.
Okay.
So this is
Here There Be Dragons.
Yeah. So this is that pirate story with Godzilla in it. So Godzilla or these pirates discovered a treasure on Monster Island. They go there to get it. Meanwhile, they had the Spanish Armada kind of chasing them. And Godzilla at one point took out the whole Spanish Armada, which was awesome. Fuck those Kylo Renners. But one guy survived. A guy who has a vendetta against this particular pirate because he, get revenge on this guy. But anyways, this is issue 4. The pirates are on the island. They figure out that, they're going to the lore of how this is the legendary universe. So this isn't the Toho Japanese lore where Godzilla was created by radiation or whatever. This is the Warner Brothers, the newer movies plot where these monsters has always existed on Earth and now they've reawakened. Mm-hmm. So they're discovering pyramids and all these different monsters, and Godzilla's, battling these monsters for eons, before humans ever existed and all that shit. So they know where the cave is. They know where the treasure is, but Godzilla's in that cave. So what they do is they get a bunch of dynamite and start creating these explosions to lure out Abira. Abira is another, is like the giant. In America, it was called Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. So Abira is like a giant crab, like a lobster or a crawfish.
Oh, so they had monsters back then too in this story. Okay, I thought it was just Godzilla that was there. So okay.
Yeah. There's his villains have shown up in here. So Abira is like I said, like a giant lobster or a crawfish or whatever. They basically lure Abira out of the ocean by creating these explosions. And then Godzilla leaves the cave to go fight Abira, and then the pirates go into the cave to get the treasure. So that's basically what they do. And that's what happens. Abira comes out of the ocean, Godzilla comes out of the cave, they start battling, start fucking each other up. Godzilla's beating the shit out of him. You can see here he's ripping off his claws. The pirates go into the cave, buried treasure, the pirate booty. They start, grabbing all the treasure. But then that asshole conquistador piece of shit who's got a vendetta against the pirates, he comes in and starts shooting them all.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So a bunch of them get killed. And that's kind of where it says to be continued. So there's only one more issue in this. So, and I've had a lot of fun with this book. So I'm still on it. I give it a 4 out of 5. And there's a conspiracy where there's a secret society that has known about these monsters, and I think that's what that monarch is.
So like the early stages.
Yeah, because they're all this like a bunch of royals, aka monarchs, that knew about Godzilla and all these monsters on Earth, and I think that's going to tie into that TV show that's coming on, the Monarch TV series, the Monsterverse or whatever. So it's a 4 out of 5. This was cool. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to do X-Men. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, this is more Fall of X,
Still, they've been following like all year.
Yeah, they won't stop following. But yeah, this is more of that. They find Cyclops. So that's pretty much it. He's been, like I said, eyes closed shut, sewn shut. So, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, so he can't like I-beam anybody. All right, so Shadowcat, like I said, the last issue, she was going to get Emma Frost to go help her break out Cyclops, but like I said, she would go marry Iron Man, so she can't come. So she's there just walking through everybody, and when she gets there, she sees the Juggernaut bitch. He's there. So why can't the
shitballs?
You need shitballs. So the question is, why hasn't Juggernaut just got up and just walked out of here? Like, even though they got him chained and shit like that. The reason he hasn't gotten up and walked out of here because his adamantium collar that's wrapped around his neck is tied to the prisoner behind him in the next cage. So if he gets up and walk out, who's ever in the next room, head is going to pop right off. So that's why he's just going to, and he don't know who it is. So Kitty's just like, okay, let me just walk in the next room and just see who's tied to your collar. So she walks in there and she sees Cyclops. She's like, oh shit, found him. She didn't know he was there. She just walked in and just found him. He's knocked out, eyes sewn shut. Like, yeah, that is fucked up right there. So she like, okay, let me just phase him out of here and just get out of here. But she can't because she realized something is up with the bed he's on right now. So she like, I can't touch him. I gotta leave him alone. So she go back and talk to Juggernaut, and she's saying Cyclops is tied to a dead man switch. If he gets off that bed, the whole building's gonna explode, or at least like this side of the section is gonna explode just like that. Everybody would die. So I can't do anything right now. But what I will do, I'll remove your collar, but I need you to stay chill for right now. Don't go anywhere. Just stay right here and I'll break you out tomorrow. But just stay right here, and then we're gonna plan this whole thing. But I gotta find a way how to free Cyclops before we get out of here. So, and that's it. She leaves. So she goes back and tell Sync and the other X-Men and more like everything is going on. And she also found she found a Cerebro in the prison. So she grabbed the Cerebro and brought it back to him. So now it's got some of Professor X's backup memories. And even though Emma's gone off to marry Iron Man, they still have Rasputin 4 with them because she's pretty much got everybody's powers. So she can work Cerebro. But the thing is, so what they're gonna do is use Cerebro to unlock Reed Richards' memories, because Reed Richards knows how to hide the X genes so they can't find them, even though Professor X wiped that shit from his mind. But they thinking they can use this to, to maybe it's dormant and they can find it. So we need to go find Reed Richards. So we need to go find the Fantastic Four. So they go to find the Fantastic Four. And since their X-Jet has been stolen by Captain Krakoa, they decided to use a Lincoln Continental and telekinetically fly it to Arizona. Why are they going to Arizona? Because that's where the Fantastic Four are based at now.
Is there a significance to the Lincoln?
Not really, no.
Okay.
She just found a Lincoln, and it's not like there's a X-Man named Lincoln or some shit, they just fly in a car. That's it, So she like, okay, I will find this man of fantastics and go, and he will tell us what we need. So Ben Grimm is there. He was fishing. They're like, hey, what you doing? She like, get out of my way. Bam. And just it's for no reason. Because why? Because superheroes have to fight for no fucking reason whatsoever. That's just what we do. So she starts a fight for no reason. She's like, why you do that? She was like, because
I wonder if Ben said, hey, no muties allowed.
Oh,
that would have been a better story.
That would have been but it would have painted Ben in a bad light. We don't want Ben Grimm to be a racist, So so he gets knocked out, and that's when Human Torch shows up. She's like, hey, you knocked out Ben Grimm. What the hell are you doing? She's like, you get out of my way. And so she starts slicing at him. And he's like, you're not going to touch me. You can keep doing it all you want to. And she's like, I don't need to touch you. Sleep. And then he just falls out, and that's it. So he's done. And so Reed Richards eating a bag of chips, with Sue Storm. They're like, what the hell going on here? I thought I heard Ben getting punched, because Ben has been getting punched so many times over the decades. They know what it sounds like when he gets punched in the face. So they just like that. So she's like, I'll turn invisible. Let me find out what's going on. She's like, cool. Let me find out what's going on too. So he got his cell phone with her, and he just floats in the air, and it like gets a scan of Rasputin 4. It's like, oh, okay. She got all kind of mutant powers and shit like that. Okay, that's pretty cool. So right before she can come to him, she jumps in front of her like, okay, you're gonna give me the information we need, Reed Richards. And she was like, no, they mind wiped me the information. I don't have that information. Like, I probably could have figured out by now if I wanted to, but honestly, I don't even give a fuck about you mutants right now. So, and she was like, but you have to. And that's when when she put the hands on him, that's when Sue Storm is like, bam. And she's like, yeah, I already know. She's like, and Sue Storm like, what is she? And Reed Richards just looking at her could tell. I think she's either one of Sinister's or Beast, one or the other. She's from the future, and she's got 4 different mutant powers inside of her from different X-Men. She's like, no, 5. Like, oh, 5. I should have turned this phone to portrait mode. I would have told me that you had Kitty's powers too. So, and she just like, okay, that does it, bub. And then smacks the fuck out of him again. So, yeah. And basically, Reed's just like, look, the only reason I haven't just knocked you unconscious already, because Ben just likes to fight people. So I'm just letting him, get his rocks off or whatever. But tell me what the hell you here for. Otherwise, Stu Storm is going to put a bubble inside your head and blow your head off. And she's just like, okay, look, we know that you know how to mask the gene, the X gene, because we know you did it to your son. So we need you to do it to the rest of us also. That way we can like move in silence so the Iron Man Sentinels can't find us. And she was like, you don't understand. I can't do it because your boss mind wiped me. She was like, so anyway, let's go put on Cerebro and let's go into your mind. Let's see if we can, maybe it's hidden. Maybe we can maybe we can dig it back up. So they go in there and they see when Magneto and Professor X did that shit, like, no, we're going to wipe you so you won't do this shit again. And there's a big ass hole in his brain. They can't find it. Like, okay, so Professor X like really did a job on you. So they can't even go in there and find this shit. So, and that's when they hit it. And that's when Miss Marvel's like, yeah, that's kind of like Professor X told me. Like he said, the Terrigenesis is hiding my mutant powers also. And that's when Reed's like, wait, what'd you say? He said the Terrigenous hiding. He was like, that's what I did. And that's when we get this cute ass panel right here of Mr. Fantastic and Miss Marvel, big hand high fiving each other.
Stretching.
Just stretching high power, like, because she basically what Reed did, he took the Inhuman Terrigenesis miss because it has the power to kill mutants, but at a low level dose, it can actually mask and hide their powers. She was like, that's what I use to build my machine. Like, because of you, Miss Marvel, now I can build a machine again. So when I build a machine again, I'll let you know and I'll give you a call. Like, cool. And they get in their Link Continental and they fly away. And that's when, Human Torch and Reed like, bye. They're like, man, fuck them X-Men, man. They don't say mutants. They just don't like the X-Men. They're like, sometimes we like them, but this crew right here, this roster they got right now, they suck. So, and yeah, that's it. So meanwhile, we cut to Dr. Stasis and Firestar, who's like a Orchis spy. And apparently they found out that Juggernaut was about to escape. So they sent Nimrod back in there to beat the shit out of Juggernaut and bash his head in. And he was like, so we're going to be done with Juggernaut. What we're going to do, I'm going to reach in, and I'm about to fuck this up, Eli, and I know I'm going to get roasted by the people listening to this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The Cytorek gem. The Cytorek gem that's inside of Juggernaut, Dr. Stasis wants it. He's going to perform surgery on Juggernaut, take the gem out of him, and put the gem in himself and become Dr. Juggernaut. And she's like, oh, fuck. If they do that, they're going to be unstoppable. They're going to kill Juggernaut. So Firestar has to find a way to alert the X-Men that they're about to kill Juggernaut and basically take the powers of Juggernaut. The end. So, yeah. So this was kind of like a throwaway filler book, really. It was like whatever. Because these X-Men books have been getting momentum since the fall of X has been falling, but this is kind of like, okay, what the Fantastic Four doing here? Okay, whatever. But yeah, that's about it. I wish Reed would kind of a little bit more pissed about the fact that he was mind wiped by the X-Men. Now the X-Men want his help. He just seemed like he's cool about it. He's just eating chips and shit. So I don't know. I guess. So overall, 3 out of 5. Like I said, it's a filler book. I think the next one will be a little bit better. Like it has Firestar versus Juggernaut in the next issues. We'll see what happens with that. So yeah. Anything else you got or?
No, I'm pretty booked out. I mean, I read that Ghost Rider annual, but that was just a one-off story with Elsa Bloodstone and Ghost Rider and that Talia fighting the Hood.
He's back. The guy with has he been in those Ghost Rider books? He just popped up.
Not lately. I haven't seen him. I can't remember last time.
I know. Last time we saw him.
He shows that he's got a book, an evil book, and he's.
Yeah, because he was in that Black Cat book, and they made him like his book bag ate him or some shit. I guess I don't know, but it's back now. So
yeah, I read that. But he's got an evil book, and he's doing shit in Salem. It's like it's a Halloween centric, story. They go to Salem, Massachusetts, because of evil shit, and yeah, so it was alright. So
I guess. So. Yep, that's all the books we got. We're booked out. Like I said, if you listen this long, if you like, share, subscribe. Like I said, if you listen more than 30 seconds, we appreciate you because you help out the algorithm. Eli, you know what next Friday is? I'm pretty sure you do. Not. Friday 13th?
Oh, yes, I do know what that is.
I was going to say, I'm like, what? I know you know that.
Yes, I do know. Yeah. Friday 13th falls in October, yes.
But Friday 13th falls in October. So I know you got to plan something. So whatever you do, just go ahead and plan it. Like I said, we'll come up with something next week. Oh, what will I do next? Oh, this is what I'm going to do next week. This is what I'm going to do next week. Because I want to save it for this week. The RoboCop demo dropped. I think it's like the first 3 levels of the game.
Okay.
I'm going to play it, stream it, and review it next week.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what we do. That's all I got. Oh yeah. Also check out this Geeks and Comics. Like I said, if you like the little bitty morsel of Transformers we gave you, check them out. Because I'm pretty sure you're gonna do the whole show. Deep. All this shit. Yes.
Yes.
They're gonna dig into it. So yeah. And that's all
we
got.
I tried finishing up the Chucky season 2.
I hadn't started. I'm gonna get it. Is that bad?
It's rough. Yeah, I can't.
Oh damn. Okay.
Because I was
Never
gonna
mind.
try and watch the new season that I guess aired this week, but
Yeah, because the new season airs on Peacock same day now. So
yeah, so I did not do that.
oh
Oh,
damn.
I watched the Continental. Thought that was cool.
Should we talk about? Let's talk about Continental next week.
All right.
I
Yeah.
want to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
You want? Okay. Yeah. All right.
I want to get into it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. I don't want to like throw it at the end. It was like
The
we're gonna talk about
lore.
yeah, we're gonna get into it. Plus, I want to talk about John Wick also.
All right.
Like both of them, we're gonna do a thing. So that's what we'll talk about next week. RoboCop, John Wick, Continental, and I think I missed something. Whatever.
Loki?
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Whatever.
No, that's all right. I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna talk about it. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet